The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Hey, you know what they say, better late than never. And guess what? The Vancouver Canucks defense has arrived for the first time in what seems like a decade. Kyle, do the Vancouver Canucks have the best defense in the NHL?
All I got to say is defense wins championships, and we've never won a championship, okay? And how did we get here? Last year, we were crying about not signing Ethan Bear. Anyways, let's talk about it on today's episode of Locked On Canucks.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks, and also a Canucks writer for Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we dive into today's episode, we got to thank you for tuning in to Locked On Canucks, because guess what? It's your Canucks every damn day. We are a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you go subscribe or follow us for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Also got to let you know before we get into things, this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 if your bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon today to get started. The Vancouver Canucks and good defense, those two things have not been mentioned in the same sentence for, about 10 years, okay? It's been the Achilles heel of this team for so long, along with so many other things. But now the Vancouver Canucks, again, since the All-Star break, allowing the lowest amount of shots on goal in the NHL. Overall this season, they've been one of the best defensive teams in the NHL. So let's get into it today, okay? The Vancouver Canucks, do they have the best defense in the NHL? We're going to tell you where we think they rank among the league's best defenses at the beginning of this episode here. We also want to get into the lineup ahead of tonight, okay? And specifically, should the Canucks be reuniting the best third line in hockey? Because right now, that's not what they're going to do against the Dallas Stars tonight. And we're also gonna bring on a guest later on the show. I'll let Kyle talk about that a little bit more. But let's get into it. Before we get into it, let me introduce my co-host, someone who is rocking stripes just like me. Kyle Bauer. How's it going, brother?
Yeah, man. Dude, this guy's not a guest, okay? He's a friend, dude. Trevor, man. Everything is not always work-related, bro. Straight up. Last night, Trevor Beggs gives me a call at 10 o'clock at night, man. I'm thinking it's a friendship call. It's a good call. He's going to start asking about my other projects. Boom, bam. He's just talking about Locked On Canucks, man. Everything is business with this guy, okay? Look at what he's wearing today. Look at you, man. Sharp. Anyways, Kyle Bauer, Trevor Beggs, speaking of business. Richard mad at us because we showed up 10 minutes late. Things happen, man. The internet. Maybe I had to go to the washroom, okay? Straight up. But look at Aaron Gray, man. This was to build suspense and excitement. Hey, speaking of suspense and excitement, man, oh man, the Stanley Cup playoffs, they start soon, okay? I think the exact date is Saturday, April the 20th, a.k.a. 420, a.k.a. holy beep. There's a good chance that the Vancouver Canucks open up their journey to June on 420 here on the West Coast, the best coast of Canada. And you know the deal, if that's the case. And man, oh man, I think this whole talk about June has been full of some delusion, right? Straight up, I'll say it. It's kind of rare for a team to not have any experience and get all the way to June. That being said, defense wins championships, and I feel like for the most part over the last couple of weeks, the Canucks are transitioning to being, as Beggsy alluded to, maybe a boring team, but there's a recipe to stay in games when you play like this the whole way through. And if the Canucks get their power play going and if their offense gets going just a bit, bro, this team with this defense, the way they're structured, is poised to make a lot of noise in the playoffs. Oh, is Beggsy lagging? I think Beggsy's lagging. Beggsy, get out of here, dude. Fix your damn internet, okay? Anyways, the Vancouver Canucks, again, since the All-Star break are what?
I completely agree, man. And it's...
Trevor, get out of here, dude. That's what I was trying to say, okay? Beggsy's internet is bro, it's worse than my ex-girlfriend, bro. Straight up. Anyways, again, the Vancouver Canucks since the All-Star break have given up the least amount of shots in the NHL. And that is so surprising because, again, going into this season, we didn't have Ethan Bear. AKA, there was a lot of question marks around if this D-core with Carson Soucy, who is a number 6 D-man, and Ian Cole is a number 6 D-man, could get the job done. Hey, Nikita Zadorov, bottom pairing defenseman. Oh, Noah Juleson. He's ass. Oh, Tyler Myers, number 6 defenseman. If they could get it all together, and look at what Adam Foote's done. This team knows how to do what they got to do, and I think a lot of it does have to do with Adam Foote. Now, Trevor Beggs, are you back? Are you back?
I mean, I think so, man. I think so. We'll see how it goes. But like you kind of talked about, 1 through 6, the Canucks do have one of the best defensive cores in the NHL. And a lot of it is, the fact that the coaching staff has elevated the bottom of the roster guys. Nikita Zadorov now playing his best hockey. Carson Soucy's been such a good fit since coming in. Same with Ian Cole. Tyler Myers has been way better than expected. And then, of course, Noah Juleson coming out of nowhere to go from barely a respectable NHLer to, worthy of a top 6 spot on one of the best defenses in the NHL. So all that being said, it got me curious about where the Canucks D-core ranks among the best in hockey. And I thought that today was a good time to bring it up because we're facing the Dallas Stars tonight, who also have one of the best defenses in the NHL. And again, those Dallas Stars added Chris Tanev prior to the trade deadline. So Kyle, I'm going to give you my rankings. I'll start with what I think are the top 5 defensive cores in the NHL and why I think the Canucks rank where I've ranked them. So at number 5, I have the Colorado Avalanche. Again, great guys on that defense. Statistically, not their best year defensively though, okay? Number 4, I have the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers defense has been great. Statistically, Florida's been great on a number of levels. But there is no way that I'm ranking a defensive core with Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Dmitry Kulikov on your bottom pairing as having a better defense core than the Canucks. No way, okay? I do have the Canucks with the 3rd best defense core in the NHL, okay? And I'll tell you 2 and 1 and why I think the Canucks rank 3rd. At number 2, I do have the Dallas Stars, and at number 1, I have the Carolina Hurricanes. I don't think there's much surprise about the Carolina Hurricanes being number 1. They are the cream of the crop in terms of how to defend in the NHL. So strong in the penalty kill, barely allow anything at even strength. The guy's got Dmitry Kulikov and his $7.5 million salary and Jalen Chatfield on the 3rd pairing, okay? I mean, that defense is so solid 1 through 6. And I look at the Dallas Stars too, and they're top 4 right now. I've said time and time again, every day is no. I think the Canucks have a top 2 and a bottom 4 because it's Hughes, Hronek, and everyone else.
Wow,
everyone else is still pretty good, but it's Hughes, Hronek, and everyone else. The Dallas Stars do have a legit top 4. Thomas Harley's emerged as a number 1 defenseman. They got Miro Heiskanen, they got Esa Lindell, they got Chris Tanev. That is a rock solid top 4. That's a stiff defense right there, okay? So I do think the Canucks, again, have one of the best defense cores in the NHL, but I would say that they have the 3rd best behind Dallas and Carolina. Kyle, thoughts?
Which is still pretty good. Really good, man.
Way better than we thought it was going to be, right?
I still don't think you're giving enough credit to a guy like Carson Soucy. I know he only played like 13 minutes against the Kings, kind of struggled. But I think he's not a bottom pairing guy. I really don't. I think the Canucks record with him in the lineup speaks for itself. I think when he's at his best, he gives this team similar value to a guy like Chris Tanev. And you just mentioned Chris Tanev as not being a bottom pairing guy. So show some love, okay, for Carson Soucy, calling him a bottom pairing guy. And look at a guy like Nikita Zadorov, okay? Guy's playing for a contract. He's playing for a lot of swagger. He wants to be, one of the quote-unquote voices of the NHL. I do expect him to have a very, very astonishing in a good way type of playoff run where he kind of puts himself on a bigger map, aka gives himself an opportunity to sign one more long-term deal. I think the better question is how surprised are you? Because I think this whole year has been, again, beautiful. It's been magical. It's been wonderful, just like the number 5 orange, right? And I think lost in all of this is, again, the expectations going in for this decor. Like, it was not supposed to be this good. In fact, even when it was, or even though it's been this good, that fact and that stat about this team having given up the least amount of shots since the All-Star break is a stat that I have to triple check, quadruple check. Okay, am I dreaming? Am I living in an alternate universe? Like, why do you think they've been able to transition from what they were just like, 14 months ago to where they are now? And, you just brought up how you think they have 4 bottom pairing defensemen. So if that's the truth, and if that's, I feel like across the league, some people would actually agree with you. Like, how have they been able to transition themselves into, again, this pretty clean unit?
Yeah, I do want to clarify that bit. When I say, the Canucks have a top 2 and a bottom 4,
Asshole.
I don't mean they have 4 bottom pairing defensemen, but I'm just looking at the way that they utilize their bottom 2 pairs, right? Most teams will have a top pairing and a second pairing, and both, those 4 guys are averaging over 20 minutes, and then, your bottom pairing guys get 15 minutes, let's say. The Canucks, on the other hand, have Hughes and Hronek playing, 23 plus minutes a night. And then the next highest defenseman in terms of ice time is Ian Cole at 18 and a half minutes. So it truly is, those 4 guys all playing about the same amount of minutes. But to go back to the original question, 14 months ago, yeah, it's a lot has changed since then. And I do think it primarily falls on Talkin and Adam Foote just whipping this defense into shape, man.
Can you just
Doing
admit
a
it?
Great job.
Put
What do you mean? Okay, go ahead.
Philip Hronek's name in there too, bro. Put Hronek's name in there too.
Yeah, Hronek's certainly a part of that, man. 100%. I mean, this coaching staff has whipped everyone in shape. It's not just those 4 guys. So they've helped Quinn Hughes out as well, But if you want to talk about, in my mind, the main reason why the Vancouver Canucks are one of the best teams in the NHL, coming into the season, what did we say, Kyle? That this team was going to make the playoffs because of great offense, great goaltending, and if the defense was just a league average, they'd make it there. Well, I think that's still true, right? If the defense was league average, the Canucks would be a wild card team. The reason they're a contender is because they have one of the best defenses in the NHL. And it's one of the biggest surprises of the season. I'm still kind of shocked that we got there. The coaching staff deserves a ton of credit for actually getting the Canucks there.
I got 2 more questions before we get to break, okay? Whoa, look at those balloons. Anyways, who's been more surprising, okay? Like, whose resurrection / resurgence is, again, more surprising? Is it Noah Juulsen or Tyler Myers? And my second question is this. Should Canucks fans be scared that Adam Foote is going to be a head coach next season?
Wow, those are 2 great questions. Tyler Myers to me is the bigger surprise. I think with Noah Juulsen.
Don't you love Surrey? Come on, man. Trevor, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, man. You need to celebrate 420 today.
That was a lose-lose situation, man. Noah Juulsen, the guy's been through a ton of injuries in his NHL career. I think he is with the right coaching staff now. But the younger you are, the more malleable you are in terms of learning, a bit more spongy, if you will. So I think Noah Juulsen, again, is just the right situation and has overcome a lot of those injury issues that affected him in the past. Tyler Myers, I thought, was definitely on the decline. I did not see this guy going from replacement level defenseman to passable in the top 4, let's say. So I think Tyler Myers, to me, like his resurrection has been the biggest surprise. And Adam Foote, man, whew.
Yeah, because he has a lot.
I don't think this is the NFL, so I'm not going to say he's going to get love next year. Yeah, he has a lot to do with this, but I don't think he's getting there next year as a head coach. But I don't think it. If the Canucks defense does this for another season, then he's not going to be far away from it.
Yeah, and again, prior to me actually respecting Adam Foote over the last couple of weeks, I've been alluding to Rick Tocchet having that championship pedigree, Alvin Rutherford. There's a core group of leaders here that have been on championship teams and organizations, and all along there's been Adam Foote who's been a part of a lot of them too. In fact, my second favorite team growing up, and I graduated from being that type of loyal sports fan and now only cheer for one team, but it was the Colorado Avalanche, right? And bro, he knows what it takes. Anyways, Beggsy, who we shouting out before we get to the second part of the show here on Locked On Canucks?
All right, more Canuck talk on the other side with friends, not guests. Okay, come on, my bad. And lineup decisions, and should the Canucks rename the Connor Garland, Teddy Blueger, Dakota Joshua line. Our takes on the other side here on Locked On Canucks. Your Canucks every day. But first, we got to shout out our friends over at FanDuel. All right, it's that time of year, okay? Say goodbye to busted brackets because FanDuel lets you bet on every game of the tourney. Whether you're betting on a big upset or a 1 seed, it's time to go dancing on America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 to use on point spreads, money lines, and hey, you can even pick who's going to win it all. And your Vancouver Canucks and Dallas Stars play tonight. Canucks are the slight favorites on FanDuel, but one of the lines I'm liking is Canucks to win by over 1.5 goals. That is plus 200 right now on FanDuel. So basically $10 bet gets you $30. Not bad, okay? Anyways, that's my bad betting advice of the day. Go check out the rest on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and bet on NHL or college hoops until they cut down the nets.
Man, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight in Vancouver, all my real fans.
Okay, we back here on Locked On Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen. That right there is Trevor Beggs. Now, before we get to, inviting one of the pals on the program, Beggsy, man, oh man, tonight's the night, man. We get to hang out, actually be friends, not just colleagues. Maybe we go to the strip club. Maybe we go to Metropole. Maybe we go to the Pint. Maybe we go to Amsterdam Cafe. But we're watching the game together tonight, man. For real. That's a beautiful thing, man.
It is a beautiful thing, and it's almost too bad I'm on post game duty. I gotta be well behaved so I can get the goods done for Daily Hive and the readers over there at the end of the game. But we'll figure it out, man. Looking forward to linking up, and
did you get fired?
Goes by pretty quick.
Could you get fired for writing the article drunk?
Not if I do a good job.
There you go. Exactly, man. Winning fixes everything. Anyways, let's bring a pal to the program, man. This friend of mine, friend of ours. Now lives in LA, and I think he's in love with the Canucks again as well, on a similar boat to me. Anyways, let's rock it here on Locked On Canucks. I think we're going to call this Here Comes the Bains. Okay. We're here doing this on Locked On Canucks. My name's Kyle Bowen. That right there is Trevor Beggs. And below us right now is Bains, man. That's the homie right there. How you doing, man?
Good. Can y'all hear me okay?
We can hear you, man. Loud and clear, man.
All right,
straight up. A big game tonight. We talked about this earlier, right? Against the Dallas Stars. But before we do that, I got to ask you how you feel about the Vancouver Canucks potentially opening up their playoff run on April 20th, right? You know how I say this season's been magical, and I think the road to June is actually going to happen because the hockey gods are looking after us? Come on, 420, the playoff journey, that's got to mean something.
It's meant to be, bro. It was supposed to happen this way.
Supposed to happen. Like I said, man, it's all lining up. I'm not going to be surprised if I do watch game one at Amsterdam Cafe. Now, again, before we talk about the Stars game, I do want to ask you one more question. Okay, how has it been being reunited with the Vancouver Canucks again? Again, you are from Vancouver, Delta, out in LA. The Canucks have sucked for 10 years on a similar boat to me. How do you feel about, again, your relationship with the Vancouver Canucks again?
I feel really good about it, man. For the last 10 years, I've been watching a lot of basketball. I've been watching less basketball this year. I've been watching a shit ton of hockey because the Canucks are in again. And not just the Canucks. I've just been watching hockey.
Damn.
I'm like in love with the sport again.
Well, okay. Well, I got to follow up with this question. Are you reminded that, again, this sport is probably the best sport in the world?
Yep. Yeah, I forgot how much I loved it.
Man, dude. Okay, so we got the big game against the Dallas Stars tonight. What are you looking forward to? Okay, Dakota Joshua back in the lineup. Do you feel as if he should be playing with Teddy Blueger and Connor Garland, or are you okay with him playing with JT Miller and Brock Besser?
I'm okay with it. I mean, I think he's earned it. I think he's earned a shot up the lineup. He's been so good. But, that line was great for us. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if it works.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I still have my thoughts about it, man. And, I've gone back and forth, and I think yesterday I was saying that if you're going to experiment, now's the time to do it, right?
Yeah.
Get that All-American line, Besser, Miller, Joshua. There's something to like about that combination, but that third line has been so damn good for this team, man. Tonight going into a matchup against the Dallas Stars, who roll three strong lines. I mean, these guys got Wyatt Johnson and Jamie Benn on their third line.
True.
I don't know if this is the night to do it, man. So I'm curious if it's going to work or not.
That's a good point, actually. This is a big game.
Yeah, and I think I heard that Wyatt Johnson is actually leading the Dallas Stars in goals this year with like 27. Who is that guy? You know what I'm saying? On that note, again, Bains watching hockey again. Kyle Bowen watching hockey again. Like, Trevor, I feel as if you should ask us this question. Like, what has surprised you about the game since you've kind of taken a long hiatus from hockey? Because it's kind of a lot different.
Yeah, it's way faster paced now. It's so exciting. There's just so much going on. At first, I was like almost having trouble keeping up with the game, like the first few games of the season.
Yeah, man. It feels as if there's like every team is just loaded with not just high-end skill, but a lot of goal scorers, man. It's like Austin Matthews, 70 goals. You know what I'm saying? Look at the Vancouver Canucks. Like, they have a bunch of players with over 10 goals. It's exciting, man, and it's en route. Like, if the NHL doesn't go into a lockout again, right? Because I feel as if the timing is right around the corner, right? Every 10 to 15 years, there's another lockout. I think there's actually an opportunity here for the game to grow. Have you checked out the prices for playoff tickets? Anyone?
Bro. Yes, I checked them out this morning. I was trying to go to game 1. I don't know, bro. It's like $300 for a nosebleed.
Dude, that's crazy. But again, not surprising. Aquilini hasn't made a lot of money with the playoff revenue recently. And man, oh man, $180 at Ticketmaster for the quote-unquote worst seat in the house. That being said, playoff hockey again around the corner. And bro, I'm just excited to feel like a Vancouver right again. Begsy, again, you're the professional here, the reporter, suit and tie type of guy. Like, do you have those butterflies in your stomach too?
Hell yeah, man. I get emotional during the playoffs, right? And that emotion has not come out too often. I did see a comment from GLS about slamming 3 beers a period. That seems a little aggressive to me, but I get a little superstitious during the playoffs, which I don't during the regular season. And I might have told this story before, but during the COVID playoffs in 2020, after the Canucks lost their first game, I had no superstition. But in the second game, I had a beer at the beginning of every period, and they won. And I'm like, now I got to do this for every game. So, hockey maybe turns me into a bit more of a degenerate, especially come playoff time. But those fan feelings are there, man. I mean, I was yelled at my TV. Like, the bubble playoffs felt real to me from that regard. But man, oh man, it's going to be different to have butts in seats, and hopefully our butts are in those seats for the playoffs. Are coming up in a couple weeks. Now, boys, we got Bains on the show here. Go check them out on YouTube. The tunes they're bumping, man. I was bumping it yesterday. As I was barbecuing, buddy.
Thank you, bro.
Speaking of Bains, some breaking news here. Archie Bains will get back into the lineup for the Vancouver Canucks.
What are the chances, dude? What are the chances, bro? Yo, like I said, it's magical, man. It's magical, okay? Archie Bains gets called up yesterday, and everyone's thinking he's like the 14th forward. Even Tocchet kind of alluded to how he's kind of like a long shot to get into the game tonight. But look at this. We have Bains here on Locked On Canucks. No relations to Archie Bains. Maybe. Who knows? Actually, not that you know of, Not that you know of. And look, now he's in the lineup. I guess we got to ask that question. Like how weird. Like, you came back into hockey this year, and what are the chances that a guy that's probably from Delta Surrey as well, with your last name, is playing for the Canucks? Like, damn.
Blows my mind. Every time I see an article with his name in it, I'm like, whoa, wait, me? Like, why are they talking about?
Bro, you probably thought you were going to be the first Bains to pop out of Vancouver, right?
Yeah, no, I did, but I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at this at all. I love it.
No, you can't be, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. Straight up, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do tonight. Now, Trevor, do you have the lineup in front of you? Like, who was he? Well, I guess there wasn't a practice today, but I wonder who he's playing with today.
Yeah, there wasn't a practice. So what Tocchet did say today is that PDG and Niels Amont are out. Now, PDG and Bains were the extra forwards at practice yesterday. So if we just go based on yesterday's lines and we swap Bains and Amont, it'll be Höglander, Pettersson, Garland, Joshua Miller, Besser, Mikheyev, Bluger, Lafferty, and then Podkolzin, Bains, and Pius Suter. And maybe this is something to touch on the other side. We're going to obviously shout out our sponsors here. We're nothing without the fans, but we're also nothing without the sponsors, okay? Can the Canucks win in the playoffs with guys like Noah Juleson, Vasily Podkolzin, and Archie Bains playing every night roles? Think about that. Digest it. Give me some flack on the other side after we shout out our friends over at eBay Motors. All right, you know the deal. Passion, drive, and patience. That's what brings home the winning trophy, and it's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride. Every time, or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash, baby. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions by eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers.
Okay, we back here on Locked On Canucks. Baines actually had to bounce quick styles, okay? He had to do it, man. The guy's making music. We'll put the link to his music in the bio below. We hope to have him on future shows because dude, we gotta share the wealth, man. Straight up, man. We trying to connect that bridge, right? Between the people and the people here on Locked On Canucks. Again, one love to Baines. Go check out the link in the bio to hear some of his music because he's that guy, man. He really is. Anyways, again, Trevor, you asked a question, a pretty important one. But before I answer that, I gotta ask you, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great because guess what? It's the end of the week. I know it's Thursday, but Friday's a holiday. It's the end of the week, and I get to hang out with you tonight, and we get to take some comments from the listeners about the Canucks in general, but also where we should link up tonight, right? So whether it's Metropole or Brew Hall or Amsterdam Cafe, I mean, the options are plentiful, man. But I'm enjoying life. Excited to see my kids at the end of Easter weekend, but also excited for a couple days to myself. Okay,
Yeah,
not a big deal.
Not a big deal, man. You're doing it. You're doing it, living that bachelor life, and now you get to hang out with me. So I'm looking forward to some of the conversations today. Okay. Anyways, so much going on. I did not know RC Baines was playing today, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be playing with Teddy Bluger and Podkolzin. And somebody just asked in the comments, right?
Pius Suter.
Sorry. So it's a Pius Suter and Podkolzin?
So again, they didn't practice today, but based on yesterday's lines, it was Podkolzin, Amon, and Pius Suter. And Amon's out and Baines is in. So that's the best assumption, right? The line at practice that Bluger was on had Mikheyev and Lafferty on it. So we'll see what actually happens. But I'll answer this question from GV in the comments. Shout out to all of you commenting, whether it's live on YouTube or after the fact. We love each and every one of you. Let's go. Baines and Podkolzin did play together in Abbotsford. They played on PP1 together. They weren't always on the same line. I mean, Podkolzin has some injuries, but they were on the same line at points. I'll say this from when I've watched the Abbotsford Canucks this season, I think RC Baines has been their best player. I've said that before. The everydayers, they know that. But Podkolzin does definitely bring something different in terms of his tenacity, in terms of his 200-foot game. But on a night-to-night basis, I found RC Baines to be the more noticeable player in Abbotsford. But I did think those two had some good chemistry, especially on the power play. Now, they're not going to get that with the Vancouver Canucks up in the NHL, obviously. But Baines is a great passer and Podkolzin has a good shot. So I think there can be some chemistry there. The two of them both work their rear ends off. And, Pius Suter's, I think, a good, responsible center to center that line. So we'll see if that actually transpires tonight, but I'm curious to see it if that's the case.
That was for RC Baines, okay, and Callum Sandu. Had to bring out some of that India, man. The first time RC Baines got called up, I'm super pumped up. It's nostalgic. It's historic. It's beautiful. This time around, it's kind of not hitting me the same way because it's all business, baby. AKA, bro, Arshdeep. The fact that you're going in for Niels Amon, who scored a goal 2 games ago, the fact that you're going in ahead of PDG, who played on the second line, and you're doing so against the Dallas Stars, kind of shows you and I, Trevor, and the rest of the people watching this that, there's an opportunity here. And I think the Vancouver Canucks are not only trying to raise their floor, but ultimately, see if they can raise their ceilings with these type of two-way players in Podkolzin and RC Baines. This is fascinating to me. Anyways, can we bring up the whole Joshua thing?
Yeah.
Would it surprise you if the Canucks have a quote-unquote slow start in this game? I'm talking period number 1 at 0-0. Canucks have 4 shots on net, maybe 9 on towards the target, blah, blah, blah. And then you go into the second period and you see Bluger, Garland, and Joshua together. No, honestly, because Rick Tockett's playing the blender game. You know what I'm saying? Remember, Podkolzin,
right.
Suter, Mikheyev, all these guys have played with JT Miller and Brock Besser over the last 5 periods.
It wouldn't surprise me. What would surprise me would actually be the slow start because I think the Canucks,
yeah, they're the best at it.
Over the past little while have been always come up firing, right? So I just expect that to come up firing every night right now and kind of tail off as the game goes on. But that wouldn't necessarily surprise, especially if they do have a slow start. I actually would be more surprised if they kept things status quo. It seems like Tocchet, we haven't seen it a ton because the Canucks have been good for the most part, but every time this team is losing, he seems to put the lines in the blender. And I think we saw a lot of line against the LA Kings. He definitely likes to shake things up when the team is losing. So I wouldn't be surprised about that if they're losing.
I feel as if prior to LA scoring their first goal, halfway through the second period, they were already putting their lines in the blender. If the offense is stale, something's going to happen. And I think the easiest thing to happen in a moment like that is going to something that works. And I don't think Tocchet has found the recipe with the winger alongside JT Miller and Brock Besser. It's the same thing with the winger beside Pettersson and Höglander, but he definitely knows that Bluger, Joshua, and Garland, they got the sauce. Real talk. Now look at G. Ellis with the comment, okay? I love Hindu music. Great love making music. I've never made love to any music. You know why I never made love to music? Because one time I was scarred, man, because I got a lot of homies that make music, and one time music was playing in the background, and then I started hearing my homies sing. Like, it could have been Bains with the song, while I'm doing my thing, and it's like, this is awkward. It's like they're watching me.
We should ask Baines the next time he's on how he would feel about, us making love, not with each other, but with our girls to his music,
Yeah, it's interesting, man. Anyways, where are we going with this? The Vancouver Canucks, the Dallas Stars tonight. Big game. The Vancouver Canucks can clinch a playoff spot if they win. They can also clinch a playoff spot if they lose and the Wild lose and like the Blues lose or something. Some weird equation. At the end of the day, can the Canucks win today? I know they're not desperately in need of points, but I feel as if this game against the Dallas Stars is pretty big. Like, it's one of the best teams in hockey. It's the second, it's a matchup between the two best teams in the Western Conference when it comes to point percentage and whatnot. And there's all these questions surrounding guys like Pettersson and et cetera against big teams, elite teams. And we didn't see it really against the LA Kings. And here's an opportunity for those same guys to rebound again against a really good team.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And I do want to touch on one thing because I did ask it to you, can the Canucks win with guys like Podkolzin and Bains and Juleson in the lineup during the playoffs? The short answer is yes. I think the longer answer is I wouldn't expect those guys to get a lot of ice time, especially not Podkolzin and Bains, if they are to be in the lineup in round one. And probably
I would even see Juleson too. Like, Juleson's probably getting 10 to 11 minutes a game if he's playing, because Hughes is probably getting 29 minutes in the playoffs.
Right. Yeah, it depends on penalties too, I think. If it's
true.
Sure, but they love Juleson on the penalty kill, and rightfully so. Even last time, Juleson was good the last time he was against the Flames. I know Cole got back against LA, but Juleson's just been so solid. I think he's probably earned a bit more rope. Podkolzin and Bains, they've played a combined 13 NHL games this season. I wouldn't expect those guys to get a lot of ice time, but this is a big audition for them because more likely than not, one of them is going to be in the lineup for opening out of the playoffs, despite both of them spending most of their season in Abbotsford. So I think they're kind of competing against each other in a weird way, but it's a big night and a big last 10 games for both of them.
I guess you're right? Because Lindholm's out of the lineup, so there is pretty much only one spot available. And if you guys did miss it / didn't hear us talk about it, it's because we didn't talk about it because this episode's been kind of all over the place. Lindholm did not participate in morning practice today. So we don't really know much about him. And I think we will, though, maybe tomorrow, going into the weekend. Again, it's confusing. It's confusing, but hey, it's opened the door for Podkolzin and Bains to get a shot. And again, this team is never dull when it comes to making things happen, because I feel as if this decision of replacing PDG with Bains didn't really have to happen. And here it is. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Hey, Archie Bains, shout to Surrey, shout to Noah Juleson, shout to Surrey, shout to Delta, shout to Bains. We'll get Bains back on the show ASAP. And man, oh man, Begsy, it's time, man. It's time to gear up, finish off our day jobs so we can go downtown and hopefully get a little drunk, man. I didn't know tomorrow was a holiday.
Yeah, tomorrow's a holiday, man. So let's enjoy. Go Canucks, go. And let's get out of here, man. Shout out to the everydayers, the occasional listeners, the first-time listeners, the new subscribers, and those of you who join us here on the live show on YouTube. No matter where you are, when you're listening, we love each and every one of you. Locked On Canucks. There's nothing without you, baby, okay? On Friday's show, it's a day off, but, Kyle and I will be working, okay? We'll be recording. Who knows? Maybe I'll still be with Kyle by the time Friday morning, afternoon rolls around.
Right, I'm
Who
down.
knows what's going to happen in the next 24 hours? But we know we'll have you covered on Locked On Canucks tomorrow. But for now, I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy, his name is Kyle Bowen, and you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.
One love to our neighbors, man. I'm seeing a lot of people in the comments talk about the homeless people in Vancouver, man. This is why we got to take care of our neighbors so we can take care of the world. Real talk, man. Let's fix the streets, man. It's possible. I believe that ish, okay? I've been listening to a lot of Deepak Chopra. Go Canucks, go. Peace.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.